Most people think poverty is caused by something like bad luck. There's this belief that if you just earned more money, or, if the system wasn't so broken, everything would just magically fix itself. So the problem is always seen as something external. It's always low income or a flawed system or just plain old bad luck. But that belief, that is exactly why so many people stay stuck. That one belief is the invisible chain. And the truth about why it holds you back, well, it's pretty uncomfortable. See, your money doesn't just disappear because you don't earn enough. It vanishes. And it vanishes because of habits that are so normal, so socially accepted, that almost no one ever stops to question them. I'm talking about habits that feel harmless, habits that even feel responsible or smart. But behind the scenes, quietly, over decades, they are draining your future away. And here's the really dangerous part. If you don't consciously remove these habits, no amount of motivation, hustle, or even luck is going to save you. So today, we're going to expose them one by one. All right, let's start with the first invisible habit: confusing income with wealth. Honestly, this is one of the most powerful financial illusions out there in the modern world.
Think of it like this. Income is what buys your present, but wealth buys your future. Income is just a temporary flow. Sure, it looks rich, but wealth is what's left standing when that flow stops. It's what lasts. And that is what it actually means to be rich.
So, I want you to ask yourself a tough question. If your income disappeared tomorrow, how long could you actually survive? A month? 2 weeks? Maybe just a few days? Your answer right there, that reveals the truth. The reality is, a lot of high earners are in fact financially fragile. And here's why that is. The money comes in and then it flows right back out. It's called lifestyle inflation. Every single extra dollar they make buys them a little more comfort, sure, but it never ever buys them freedom. We've basically trained our brains to chase income instead of building wealth. We're always asking, how can I earn more? But we almost never ask, how can I keep more? Or even better, how can I make my money work for me without my direct effort? And the result of that is this psychological trap. You get caught in a loop where your entire identity is tied to your labor. So any moment you're not actively working, it feels dangerous. It feels like a liability. Okay, so that leads us right into the second invisible habit, which is outsourcing your financial thinking. You see, most people don't really manage their money, they just react to it. What I mean is, when they feel confused or uncertain about what to do, they just outsource their thinking. They end up reacting based on what they hear from other people, not on what they actually understand themselves. So what does this look like? Well, they listen to their friends, they copy what their coworkers are doing, they follow influencers, they chase the latest market trends, you know the drill. Someone says crypto is hot, so they jump right in, but they don't really understand the system they're even entering. You have to remember this. A loud voice doesn't mean it's a smart strategy. A viral post is not a sustainable financial outcome. Look, if you don't develop your own framework for thinking about money, you will always be reacting instead of designing. And reacting, that's the enemy of building real wealth. Which brings us to our third, and maybe the most subtle habit of all, prioritizing comfort over leverage. Now, leverage is just a fancy word for using what you have, like your time or your knowledge, to get a disproportionately huge result. In this habit, it's about actively choosing not to do that. You hear it all the time, right? People say they just want peace, no stress. But comfort becomes a trap when it completely replaces growth. The reality is, wealth, real wealth, lives on the other side of discomfort. So what most people do is they choose comfort today at the expense of their freedom tomorrow. They'll take that fixed paycheck, that predictable routine, because building an asset or learning a new valuable skill, well, that takes a lot of upfront effort with no immediate reward, and that's uncomfortable. So these three habits we've talked about, confusing income for wealth, outsourcing your thinking, and choosing comfort over leverage, they aren't just separate flaws. They're all symptoms of a single, much deeper issue. And it's not really about the money, it's about your mindset. We've all been trained to see financial struggle as just a lack of money. Simple as that. But that's not the root cause. It's just the symptom. The real cause
It's a mindset that's been trained by years of repetition, repeated reactions, repeated short-term thinking. These invisible habits, they come together to construct an invisible ceiling right over your potential.
And you don't break through that ceiling with just motivation. It's not enough. You break out by replacing the entire system that built it in the first place. You do it by designing a new one. So here's your new system. Step 1, build assets, not just appearances. That means focusing on what you own, not just what you earn. Step 2, learn instead of just copying. You have to build your own understanding so that you become immune to all the noise out there. And step 3, choose leverage over ease. You have to be willing to accept some temporary discomfort for permanent freedom. This is how you change the entire gravity of your financial life. It happens slowly, quietly, and with intention. You stop reacting to your circumstances, and you start designing your future.